Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you. Let me know if everybody can hear all right and see what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, just to abide by YouTube policies, and because this is the way I feel, always take the most precautions. Listen to the World Health Organization and the CDC and your doctors, and just take precautions, ladies and gentlemen. This is a critique. This segment is reporting what is going on and what President Trump has stated regarding the World Health Organization, and that's all. So always be safe. Always just do what is most prudent and recommended by the wonderful and amazing and brilliant and talented experts. Now, this is really, really interesting. To my super chat, again, thank you so very much. I know that there are other things you could spend your money on, but if you choose to support my voice, thank you. Trump considering suspending funding to WHO. President Trump said Tuesday that he would consider placing a hold on funding for the World Health Organization, expressing grievances with its handling of the crisis. They missed the call. They could have called it months earlier. They would have known, and they should have known, and they probably did know, Trump told reporters at the White House press briefing, suggesting the WHO failed to sufficiently warn the global community about the virus. Okay. Does anyone disagree with that? I don't think anyone could disagree with that. Experts are supposed to know beforehand. So we're going to be looking at that very carefully, and we're going to put a hold on money spent to the WHO, Trump continued. We're going to put a very powerful hold on it, and we're going to see. It's a great thing if it works, but when they call everything wrong, that's not good. Pressed later by a report on whether it was a good idea to put a hold on funding during a global pandemic, the president clarified that he was considering suspending funding to the WHO. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it. We will look at ending funding. So he's saying not at this moment, but in the future. So then he goes on to say, the WHO said in early February that widespread travel bans that interfere with international travel and trade were not necessary to prevent the spread, days after the Trump administration announced it would restrict. Wow. So President Trump acted even before. Wow. He acted even before the WHO. Wow. Wow. So he acted even before the World Health Organization, Trump did. The WHO said in early February that widespread travel bans that interfere with international travel and trade were not necessary to prevent the spread, days after the Trump administration announced it would restrict travel coming into the U.S. from China. Wow. Wow. Don't you love, basically, what Trump should really do for any political adversary is just be like, you need to go and stay away from great white sharks. Do not put chum in the water off the coast of Australia. Do not do that. And I'm telling you, you know what I'm going to do? This is President Trump, and I'm going to make a law that any American that goes to Australia, puts chum in the water, and jumps into the ocean without a cage, inviting great white sharks, they're going to be fined. You would see the entire Democratic Party. It would be like one of those those triathlons. They'd be swimming towards the coast of Australia gleefully. Or they'd fly to Australia, then oh my God, we're going to do this because Trump said no, yay! And then it's just like a buffet from Jaws. It's really unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. The WHO said in early February that widespread travel bans that interfered with international travel and trade were not necessary to prevent the spread, days after the Trump administration announced it would restrict travel coming into the U.S. from China. Wow. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. They actually criticized and disagreed with my travel ban at the time I did it, and they were wrong. They've been wrong about a lot of things. They had a lot of information early, and they didn't. They seem to be very, okay, we have to look into it, Trump told reporters. They did give us some pretty bad play calling. The remarks expanding a critical tweet he sent earlier Tuesday come amid growing concerns among conservatives, the WHO's handling of the outbreak. Some have accused the organization of leaving other countries unprepared for the crisis. Senators Martha McSally said last week, WHO Director General called on WHO Director General to resign. Well, I think so too. I mean, if you preside over, we don't know, like, the calamity is serious. I'll just speak in algorithmically friendly terms. Okay. The calamity is very serious. The response to the calamity, as Joe Biden would say, we have to make the cure worse than the problem. Okay? That's what he said. We have to make the cure worse than the problem. So, and then you have Chuck Schumer who can't put a mask on right. It's just, look, it's pretty unbelievable. It's pretty unbelievable when you have a global crisis that needs to be dealt with, but is tanking the global economy the way to do it? Could you simply say, look, the most vulnerable people have to take care of themselves. Do not visit the most vulnerable people. For a little while, they need to self-quarantine. And then people who need to work for their families, those people can work. I don't understand this mentality that it's all or nothing. Either it's the end of the universe or the end of the economic world. Or it's either you will perish because you have no more job, or you'll perish because of biology. There's no in between. There's no in between. It's unbelievable. And you better believe a lot of this, ladies and gentlemen, is a reaction to President Trump. Okay, it's a reaction to President Trump. They do not want Trump a part of any recovery. They don't want Trump a part of any. Look, you have these articles from the Atlantic, and you have CNN and MSNBC. They're saying, "Well, this is Trump's fault." Excuse me, what state is suffering the most? Oh yeah, that's right, the state led by Andrew Cuomo and Chuck Schumer. Andrew Cuomo, in the beginning of March, said there's nothing to worry about in a tweet. He literally stated that. Where is the tweet? Where are the tweets here? Let's see. You can look. Okay, let's see. Andrew Cuomo. There is no reason for undue anxiety. The general risk remains low in New York. This, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, was I believe, March 1st. There is no reason for undue anxiety. The general risk remains low in New York. What they've been obsessing over is President Trump saying, oh, well, we have it under control in January or in February. So, making comments like that. This is a man whose state, New York, leads the country in all of this. They lead the country in all of this. And it's a Democratic machine. It's run by Democrats. And they lead the country in all of this. There's 9 states that haven't even closed down. They're all Republican states. Why are they okay and New York is suffering? Why do they have enough ventilators but not New York? What did their leadership do that New York hasn't? 8 of the top 10. Go look at the New York Times. New York Times gleefully, issues every day, an update every day. They didn't do this during the pandemic that took place under President Obama's administration. Gee, I wonder why. But they gleefully update the pandemic with all the stats. But if you look, the top 10, they put all the states ranking. The top 10, 8 of the top 10 states. 8 of the top 10 states are run by Democratic governors. Lyle Bud, postal worker doing overtime. Lyle Bud, God bless you. Thank you. And let me tell you something. I have always said, Lyle Bud, and I hope you remember, I've always said, a country cannot run. A democracy cannot run without a functioning postal service and postal system. So, to all the people who work at the post office, God bless you. You're awesome. Lyle Bud, you are awesome. You are awesome. United States Postal Service is awesome. It is awesome. And the post office department was created in 1792. I don't care about email. I don't care about text messages. You need to have a post office forever. Lyle Bud, thank you. You need to have, I don't care about UPS, FedEx, DHL. If you do not have, as an independent agency of the executive branch of the United States federal government, if you do not have a state that has a functioning post office, you Free Assange, hello. If you do not have a functioning postal service in a country, you certainly can't have a democracy. Because when email, when there's an outage, or you didn't pay your phone bill, or you didn't pay your cell phone bill, you need to write a letter, and there's nothing more beautiful and intimate nowadays, and just now it's becoming to like spiritual, than just writing a letter to somebody. Writing a letter, putting pen to paper, writing a letter, which nobody does. But even when you get something in the mail, like from somebody you want to get, like a card for a birthday invitation, it's a feeling you can't get from email. You just can't get that feeling. Like I get email invitations, you're like, okay. I mean, whatever, they're convenient, but you're not like... I remember getting letters before email. How excited I would be opening up the letter. So, Lyle Bud, thank you so very much, and thank you for working. Thank you for working so hard for all of us. Thank you. Lyle Bud, you're awesome. We need forever. I don't care if it's like the Jetsons, and we're like flying around in like, spacecrafts, and, we have flying cars. We still need a functioning post office. So, Lyle, thank you. Trump has faced criticism, at first downplaying the threat, and his administration has been scrutinized for early delays. This is the thing, early delays in testing. It's like, you need to treat, whether whether you have testing or not, you still need to treat the like society and media. They're like focused only on removing the person from society because it'll spread. Well, yeah, that's important, but self quarantine and all that stuff, but you have to treat, whether you get tested or not, you still have to treat the ailment. You have to treat what you're dealing with, which is why Trump has been vindicated on chloroquine and hydrochloroquine. A Democratic lawmaker the other day, I did a segment on this morning, and where is this right here? I'll show you. Okay, her name is I believe Karen Whitsett. Where is the Democratic lawmaker? All right, so right here, Karen Whitsett, Michigan Democratic State Representative Karen Whitsett told lawmakers Trump saved her life by hydroxychloroquine. Michigan State Representative Karen Whitsett told Fox News host Laura Ingraham on Monday that the controversial drug hydroxychloroquine stopped her coronavirus systems within a couple of hours. Whitsett represents parts of Detroit, a city that has been labeled a hotspot. Recent data indicated. Okay, so used primarily for malaria, hydroxychloroquine has been praised by President Donald Trump as a potential therapeutic for the crisis. I'm not looking at it one way or another, Trump said, but if we want to get this out, we want to get out of this. If it does work, it would be a shame if we didn't do it early, but we have some very good signs. Now, I really want to say that you have to give this an opportunity. For me, it saved my life, Whitsett said. So, Democrats, mainly just to look, anything he says or does, they're gonna say the opposite, and they're going to pretend. Like the other day, there was a state representative who wanted to take Trump to The Hague. Yes, The Hague for war crimes. Okay. John Black. Everyone is an essential worker to me. God bless. Thank you, John. It's true. It's true. We need to Daisy, thank you. We need to get back to work, hopefully towards the end of this month. What is it, the 19th? We get back to work. We get back to what we've Bono B, hello. John, hopefully, thank you again. Hopefully by the end of by the middle of March or so, by the middle of March or so, we need by the middle of April, we need to get back to work as a country, back to work. People who are susceptible need to take care of themselves. Okay, there are 9 states in this country that let's see, what are the 9 states? It's Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota. So 9 states that have not shut down. Let's see. Nine states have yet to issue formal stay-at-home orders. So, Arkansas, I told everybody, if you're going to stay at home, stay with me. Come over, stay with me, especially you watching right now. Why don't you stay with me? When my wife When she runs again, we might have the Oval Office again. You can stay with me there. Why not? It'll be fun. Arkansas, let's see. Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina. South Carolina, South Dakota, Utah, Wyoming. So there you go. Why are these states? Why are these 9 states okay? Isn't it interesting? They're all run by Republicans. Gosh, it's just a coincidence. That has nothing to do with the leadership there. Nothing to do with it. Andrew Cuomo in March. I don't understand, because you have the media. It's just blame Trump, but Trump is not a governor of states that need to know. You look at the State of the State addresses for these people. They were completely caught off guard. Here, you look at New York, New Jersey, Democrat, California, Democrat, Michigan, Louisiana, Democrat, Florida, Massachusetts, Republican governor, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Washington, Democrat. So, it's of the total cases, 102,000 of the 254,000, this is on April 3rd, were New York, and now New York is even a greater share of everything. New York is the state most impacted by this. It has far more than 150,000 now cases. You look at the aggregate numbers. Number one, the aggregate numbers don't warrant the maniacal, heavy-handed response. Angela Goodwin, I spend more 1 week in quarantine, and forklift operators will be essential to moving me around. Angela Goodwin, I know the feeling. I'm trying to eat healthy. And come up with workouts with these dumbbells that I enjoy, that are interesting. Angela Goodwin, thank you. Yes, Angela, thank you. So, all right, so here, let's continue. So, the interesting thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, the way I look at it is the following. Thank you, Angela. Thank you again. You look at, there are 9 states with no stay-at-home orders. 9 states. And Texas has 10 million more people than New York. Why is that not this issue for Texas? So you can't say, well, it's the population. Obviously, New York is cramped, and people are in many cases are living on top of each other, and people are in close proximity to one another. That's true, but that's the case in Dallas. Perhaps not to the extent of New York. But why isn't? California's spread out. That's true, but is it just an issue of proximity? If that's true, then states that have clusters of population that should then take measures that affect those areas. Perhaps not the entire state. So you have you have Andrew Cuomo, who was completely nowhere to be found, literally telling people that it's not going to be a serious issue. There's no cause for anxiety. Not a serious threat. He literally said that. That's not what President Trump said. President Trump never said anything, Eugene, hello. President Trump never said anything to that extent. So it's and who do you have? You had Emperor Swalwell. He was fantastic. He said, stop wearing masks. That's what Swalwell said. Of course, you look, if wearing a mask makes you feel good, do it. If they say that it helps prevent the spread, do it. Or protects you, then do it if you feel like it. There's one city that's like fining people in California for not wearing. That's bizarre. What if you can't afford one or you don't know where to get one? It's like you just can't leave your house. A lot of these things, it's like Luke St. Martin, Eric H526, hello. The interesting thing is when we get back up and running, Democrats will then find something to complain about. The ventilator issue is not Trump's fault. In New York, we have 50 states. New York is the hardest hit, and it's run by Democrats. And Andrew Cuomo was suing President Trump because of travel restrictions in February. So, like every day, you say, "Oh my God, people losing their lives," and it's New York, New York, New York, New York. So what is unique about New York that the 9 other Republican states who have kept their states pretty much open? Businesses are running. You can go to restaurants. There are no stay-at-home orders. What's the difference aside from population? And don't bring up population because Texas has 10 million more people than New York, and they're not even in the top 10. So, I mean, you're looking at a situation where this was not addressed. It wasn't President Trump's job to find out how many ventilators New York needed. Or Illinois needed. Okay, Illinois kept their primary open. Speaking of primaries, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Nuke Nomad, maybe. Maybe. Thank you. You look at what's going on. And you say to yourself, okay, what is it about New York where it leads the country? And why are the people who run New York given a complete free pass? Why are they completely given a free pass? Completely and utterly given a free pass. It's unbelievable. They get a complete free pass. John's Guitar Barn! Been subbed for a while. Time to pony up some. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you, John. John's Guitar Barn. Thank you. Very appreciative. Thank you so very much. I'm glad you enjoy the show. And thank you. Very cool. And John's Guitar Barn, that's a great name. And thank you so very much. Yeah. It's you need to ask, well, maybe if it was Texas, if Texas led or let's say it was a red state. Let's say 8 out of 10 of the top 10 states were GOP run. What do you think media would say? What do you think media would say? They would say, "Oh my God, oh my goodness, this is there's a problem with the Republican ideology, a conservative. I'm not even a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm no party affiliation. No party affiliation. No party." Well, what do you think they would say? And then, hold on, where's the Wisconsin prime? I want to see this. Wisconsin primary. This is hilarious. The Wisconsin primary. People, they kept their primary. This is so hilarious. How many people voted and risked life and limb? I don't see social distancing in this New York Times photo. These people look like cramped. Oh my God. This is not 6 feet apart. Oh my God. It doesn't ever end. The hypocrisy doesn't end. The Trump needs to tell them, look, do not, absolutely do not sprint towards the edge of the Grand Canyon and then stop right before the cliff. Don't do it. I am going to make a law. You will not sprint towards the edge of any cliff while I'm president. Oh, yeah? Oh, totally, man. Let's do it. We're fighting the authoritarian regime. We're jumping off a cliff to fight the authoritarian regime. We're so awesome. We're going to be eaten up by sharks to fight the authoritarian regime. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at... These are people in the rain. These are people in the rain. Blame it on the rain. These are people in the rain. Scenes from Wisconsin election. People are in the rain with masks. That's a good way to get, that's a good way to get sick. But what do they care? The Democrats don't care. Animal 3458. Flying Fox Fruits. People who died at HSC are stupid. And Flying Fox Fruits, hello. Animal 3458. HA, your financial guy. Your opinion on SBL. My CPA looking into it. Item on 3458. I would not give. I can't look. I don't have any opinion on that. I don't have any opinion on that. Yeah, my CPA looking into it. I'm on 3458. It just do what's best. Do what's best for. I mean, do what's best for. Let's see. Yeah, I actually I do not know much about. I don't know much about it, so I have to be honest. And even if I did know a lot about it, I would. I mean, it would depend on how disaster relief loans and determine which one may be strapped for cash. Disaster relief loans. I mean, I cannot tell if someone needs $2 trillion package. Government response, part of the government response. If you can get it through the government, which the SBA loans, you apply for loan, you have to. It would basically be item on 3458. Whatever your CPA and your family tell you. I could not give any worthwhile advice on anything to do with that, other than I just wish you the best, and whatever the most prudent thing to do is do that. I wish I could give a better advice. Animal 3458. Just be cautious and safe, always. Flying Fox Roots, watching HA navigate YouTube. Flying Fox Roots, Flying Fox Roots. Thank you. Angela Goodwin. I wonder if the most affected by this there's a tonsillar appendix. So-called you know, I thought that not having tonsils would make you less susceptible to sore throats. I don't know. I learned that. I don't know. I don't know about. I mean, it could be. I don't know. Angela, good one. Thank you. Jackie Akerson, can you please start calling her Madam Cyberhack again? It's my favorite of all the pet names. You know what? I think I Madam Cyberhack. You know what? I am just playing it so safe. Like, I am just like, you know, the issue is that, look, the Golden Moo and Madam Cyberhack are my two favorites. But, Jackie, I'm just trying to play it so safe. Just playing it safe. I don't know. I guess I'm being overly cautious. But, Jackie, thank you. Yeah, this Madam Cyberhack. Which brings us to me talking about Clinton for a half an hour. Now, I'm not going to put everybody through this, but she's running. Let's look at, it's going to be the nominee. She's going to be the nominee. Wisconsin primary. Let's see. How many millions of people voted? Wow. This is great. What is the point of wearing a mask and then standing in line in the cold for an hour? What does only a Democrat would do that? To vote for Biden? Because you know they ain't voting for Bernie. To vote for Biden? This is like, you are really, you just don't want Trump. Clinton is going to be the nominee. Yes, Hillary Clinton, not Biden. Let everybody know that I am the only person. I am the only person on planet Earth who accurately called the Democratic nominee and accurately called the prediction, the election, because Trump will defeat Clinton again. This is unbelievable. The Democrat, all you hear is, you know, doom and gloom from Democrats, but this is the fourth primary. This is the fourth primary that they didn't, this is during the height of everything. It's like, you cannot work. Biden said he did well before the results. Biden said he's done well. His results were not expected till Monday. That's hilarious. This is the fourth. This is so hilarious. The fourth primary Democrats have had. The fourth primary. And it's like they'll shut down states. No working in states, but no going to restaurants, but you can vote for Democrats. If you want to risk your health voting for Democrats, go ahead. It's totally fine. Totally fine. It's just, it's like unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Wisconsin primary election results. That is so bizarre. That is so bizarre. Wow. So Biden's like, yeah, I did really well. They don't have the results yet. He was like, I did well. Joe Biden. This is so... This is so funny. Okay, so Wisconsin primary. All right. Why? What I don't understand is why do you have everybody on the ballot that isn't running? Like Clinton, they say, well, she's not running. It's like, no, she's going to be nominee. I don't care how it happens. She runs a month before. She runs the day. If she runs the day of, who cares? The day of the virtual convention in August, the centennial of the 18th Amendment, or the 19th Amendment. Sorry. So you have how many hundreds of thousands of people? How many hundreds of thousands of people? Luis Rivera, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Luis Rivera. Thank you. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Angela Goodwin. Lewis, thank you again. The function of tonsils is to... Tonsils help to prevent infections. All right. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Produce antibodies. Okay. I appreciate that. Angela, good one. Thank you. Devil's Advocate. Hey, H.A., I went into journalism as well. By the way, have you heard of gun control crowd has gone? So you know what? They have. Because sales are up. Sales are up. Thank you. Thank you. Devil's Advocate, thank you again. Yeah, sales are up. And people want to play, Apocalypse, Mad Max, and, zombie world dystopia. And they're like, oh, my God, we might be all on our own. Gee, which part of the Bill of Rights allows me to protect my family? That's interesting. That's interesting. Then they're like, so eventually people understand, they get it. Takes them a while, but Devil's Advocate, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Angela, as always, thank you. Lewis, thank you. Gosh, I can't make up my mind. So... The interesting thing is, it's like Democrats, they haven't. This is the fourth primary they haven't stopped during all of this. Yet they tank the economy, or I should say, they're definitely advocates of keeping the stay-at-home orders up until into the election. Gee, I wonder why. When they're not cheating their voters, they're putting their voters at risk. So it's like, it's just unbelievable. Devil's Advocate, thank you. Thank you again. Let's see. What's Bernard Sanders up to? Today is Bernie Sanders' last meaningful day as a presidential candidate. CNN. And then, so he's going to lose Wisconsin, But you know what? He'll get retweeted a trillion times. There's a word to describe our healthcare system today. Grotesque. We need Medicare for all. How, like, this is the issue. You're preaching to who? People, this is the big problem with Bernie Sanders. Big problem, huge problem. I was the biggest Bernie booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. The guy doesn't fight. Had he made an issue of Clinton's top secret intelligence on servers, outside of the United States government running on Microsoft Exchange software, he could have had a much better chance in 2016 when they cheated him. So they cheated him. That's a whole other story. But it's like, look, I was thinking about this the other day. I was actually watching I was watching YouTube segments on wine, like the most expensive wines in the world. And then it got to the Koch brothers. Their cellar is like, as the most amazing wines in the whole planet. Okay, the most expensive. Okay. Then it got to one where one of the Koch brothers passed away. And then I got to this, then I saw the comments, and it was like the most rabid, frothing at the mouth, gleeful liberals who were like, oh, you know where he's going. He wants to cut Social Security. You should have seen what he done. He did. He wanted to cut Social Security. He wanted to cut social safety nets. It's like, okay. So, number one, what they do is they take pleasure in the misfortune of people who disagree with them, because they think that morality rests upon having their political views. They might have political views that are right. They might have political views that are wrong. But if a person wants to, I wouldn't want to cut Social Security, but let's say a person says we have to cut Social Security. Let's say a person said that. Whether it's right or wrong, there's a reason for it. Let's say the person was focused on the debt. A country cannot run forever with a debt that reaches too high of a burden. So if that is the mentality, and then they back it up with whatever they back it up, that's their mentality. They're not cutting Social Security just to hurt people. You can disagree with it. Let's say the Koch brothers the remaining Koch brothers have a viewpoint that they're also libertarian, and they have policies that they support that are left-leaning, also progressive policies also. But anyway, or ideology. But anyway, the left and progressives, the left-leaning people, socialists, anarchists, whatever. If you're on the left, you see this a lot with Rose Twitter. It's this kind of, they've taken politics and they've added a religious element to it. They've added a religious element to it, where their condemnation and scorn is done for a crusade, a moral crusade. And you see this when you talk to like liberals who just can't stand Trump. They don't realize that he's done so many good things, and he's doing good things. And they don't care because they only see this immoral man, where they don't realize that, hey, if you disagree with the policy, that doesn't mean that you're only on the side of right. You just simply disagree with the policy. You could be wrong on that policy. Number two, they voted for Clinton, who you could look, the track record, advocating for Bush's foreign policy, which is what Clinton did, voting for Bush's foreign policy, is the most immoral. If you want to talk about morality and lives negatively impacted, because the foreign policy that we have, unfortunately, negatively impacts lives throughout the world. So it's not just us. That's far worse than cutting Social Security, because you're actually inadvertently ruining the lives of millions in other countries. Free Assange! It's not to get people anymore. Free Assange, thank you! Thank you. Thank you. I was just thinking about that the other day. Their vantage point is any type of condemnation, any scorn, any insults, any way you denigrate somebody, marginalize somebody, mock somebody, put them down. If you're doing it because they disagree with your politics, and you get this this pathetic response, and this is one of the reasons Bernie's movement has become a giant pal movement. You get this response, okay, boomer. These are people who are complaining about student loans that they took out because I paid my student loans well into my 30s, late 30s. You took out the loan because you wanted to study something in college. If you can't find work, that's not the boomer's fault, or look, I definitely don't like, or can't stand, or I should say have no allegiance towards the I'm with her crowd. But if you're a progressive or Rose Twitter and you're going after a baby boomer or somebody in their 50s or 60s or 70s or whatever, somebody in their late 50s, early 60s, no, it would be 60s and 70s. Actually, 70s and 80s, the baby boomers, 70s and 80s. But like, you're going after them and you're saying, oh, okay, boomer. It's like, yeah, you're complaining about student loan debt. You took out the student loan for a reason. Why did you do that? So, these people made a life for themselves. Now you have to make a life for yourself. And you can't, and even if Bernie were president, he wouldn't get Medicare for all past the House. Because the House doesn't even want Medicare for all. Democrats don't want Medicare for all. It's a noble endeavor. But like the mentality is, oh, you're suffering from a physical ailment. If you had Medicare for all, it would be fixed. It's like, no, Medicare has $6,700 in out-of-pocket costs. This is what happens when Twitter gives a forum for people who shouldn't be judging others to then judge and condemn others. You have the biggest imbeciles just getting retweeted, and all their nonsense is just, that's why Bernie's the king of Twitter, and he's the tool of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party runs on public relations. Bernie is a tool and a pawn of the public relations scheme. He's there to funnel votes back into the Democratic Party. That's it. That's it. That's it. You have 320 million people. For 40 to 50 million people, they're still out-of-pocket costs. Medicare is not free. So they say Medicare for all is like, oh, free healthcare. It's like, it wouldn't be free. It's not free now. Medicare is not free now. You still need $6,700 a month or $3,000 to $6,700 a month. Anyone could look at the Medicare out-of-pocket costs. It's like unbelievable. Nobody looks at Medicare. Nobody on the left, I can assure you, because I used to be there. A lot of Bernie's policies, I didn't even think about. I was like, well, it's moral. It's great. It's moral. And I'm like, well, okay, it's not moral if it's not feasible. Bernie Sanders is a good human being, but he's slowly turning into like a circus act. It's not, you can't rest upon the belief that you're morally superior when what you're saying is not feasible. And if it were feasible and Democrats don't want it, then you have an even bigger problem. Then your fight is not with Trump. It's first with the Democratic Party. That's another thing they don't. Bernie says it's an awkward position, but he's still in the race for the Democratic. Okay, so, yeah, right. It's going to be Clinton. Clinton will be the nominee. 100%. I'm the only person on planet Earth saying this. This is just, it's just really unbelievable. It's really, really unbelievable how you look at the way the Democratic Party operates. And they have nothing but contempt for Trump. And when I say that Clinton's going to be nominee, and I say this every single day, and I say it every single day, and I tell everyone the same thing, and nobody believes it now. And you watch. When Clinton runs and then she loses again, people say, well, we even knew she was going to run. Nobody's saying she's going to be nominee. They're saying she's going to run. I've been saying she's going to be nominee since 2017. Read my Huffington Post article in February. Of 2017. But there are enough people who have just utter contempt for Trump to give Clinton the presidency. I keep on telling everyone this. Hillary Clinton could become president. She could become president. I'm telling you. She's going to be nominee. And it's going to be Trump versus Clinton again. I will be the only person on planet Earth, and this will be my second election. NPR quoted me and Nate Silver. I said Clinton is unelectable. He said he didn't think, 538 said that, didn't believe that that Trump would even be GOP nominee. So it's really unbelievable. It is really unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump's going to win. It's just a matter of getting everyone to vote. Because I am telling you, Clinton could become president if you don't tell everyone you know to vote Trump. I mean, everyone who doesn't have derangement issues. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'll be back at 11 p.m., people. So be here at around 11 p.m., a little bit earlier. I'll be here. I'll do another segment live stream tonight. All right, everybody? Thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. I will be back at around 11. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. And God bless, and thank you. I'll see you later. About around 11 p.m. Be here on this channel. Thank you.